Hello there, mysterious person behind the screen, and welcome to the Doctor Who DVD Blu-ray collection for 2018 Part 3. This is John Pertwee, the third Doctor. So, without further ado, let's get started with Spearhead from Space. I have two editions of Spearhead from Space. I've got the Special Edition DVD. Pretty good release. It's got some good special features on there, but I must admit, aside from the extras, I never watch this DVD because you can see I have the Spearhead from Space Blu-ray. Spearhead from Space Blu-ray. I have the Steelbook edition. It came out a few years ago. I've done a full review of this Steelbook on my channel. It looks lovely. It looks really good release. And Spearhead from Space is a fantastic story. It's a perfect reintroduction to the show after the Triton era. It's got obviously the first appearance of the Autons, first appearance of Liz, first appearance of the third Doctor. It's just it's a great story. I always revisit it a lot. It's probably my favourite out of season 7, and I know season 7's got Inferno and stuff, but in my opinion, I think Spearhead from Space just has the notch over Inferno and Ambassadors of Death and Silurians. Plus, you know, because it was all shot on film, the Blu-ray looks stunning, and it's a fantastic release. The light's very flickery. I don't know if you can tell that. Absolutely fantastic release. Definitely pick up the Blu-ray. I have the DVD. The DVD looks stunning anyway. Obviously, all shot on film. Yeah, the DVD looks fine anyway, but the Blu-ray is just probably the definitive visual presentation of it. Unless they do a 4K release, of course, but I doubt it. But yeah, I really love Spearhead from Space. So then we've got Doctor Who and the Silurians. This is a part of the Beneath the Surface box set. Silurians is a good story. The thing with season 7 is I haven't watched them as much as I have the others because the stories are so long. You sort of have to devote a good chunk of time to them. But it's no, not a big deal. And Silurians is a great story. I love how creepy the Silurians actually are in the story. It's definitely the best design, I think. So. Changing camera angle, yeah, I realised you couldn't see the top shelf. I'll revert to the other one when I get to the second shelf here. But yeah, next we have, where is it? I put the DVD down here. The Ambassadors of Death. I love that sting, the Ambassadors of Death. It's like, oh, it's amazing. Ambassadors of Death is great. Got some great cliffhangers to it, actually. I really like the, how many beans make 5? You know, you've got all of that. And you've got the, right, cut it open. It's a really strong cliffhanger. Great monsters, very creepy vibe to it. But that aforementioned cliffhanger is sort of like midnight before midnight, so it's cool. I like it a lot, and yeah, it's just a really strong story. Another strong one for season 7. I know a lot of people say it's the weakest one, but I think it's about on par with the others. It's a good story, as is Inferno Special Edition. I really like the cover here. Very nice indeed. Who is it? It's Lee Binding. Thought it was. Yeah, Inferno. It's excellent. It really is. You know, believe the hype. It's a full-on epic. It explores the parallel universe idea that Doctor Who's done since then. This was the first one to do it, and it was really successful. It's nice. It's almost weird seeing the cast that we've warmed to and know and love in an alternate reality, and I always like alternate reality episodes of shows, and yeah, this is really cool. And yeah, the Brigade Leader, it's a really good story. Then we have probably my favourite season of Pertwee. This is season 8 with Terror of the Autons opening. Great story. You know, first appearance with Master, first appearance with Joe Grant. A lot of firsts here. It was pretty controversial with Mary Whitehouse because of the doll scene. But it's a good story. It's a really strong story, and definitely a good one for Delgado's first. Then we have The Mind of Evil. Again, another great story. Season 8 just knocks it out of the park. Another fun encounter with the Master and Joe Grant. Cool to see that the Master Sphere is the Doctor, you know, standing over him because he's lost. It's a good character beat there, and yeah, it's a great story. Check it out if you can. Claws of Axos Special Edition. Again, you know, a lot of these season 8 is very consistent, so a lot of them will just be going like, it's another good one. Yeah, it's good. Another good one there. Another good one. Yeah, it's great. The Axon's a really good monster. You can see the 2 different versions of them on the cover there, and Yeah, some good stuff in here. Yeah, Bob Baker and Dave Martin. It's probably they wrote the Three Doctors, so I'm not sure, but it's one of their best scripts that they've written for the show for sure. It's really really strong. Then we have the colony in space. My least favourite story from the season. It's just very dull. You got that weird bit in episode 1 where the TARDIS lands as a jump cut rather than a the usual crossfade that it is. Yeah, not a fan of it. Pretty dull. But, you know, it's sort of one bad story in season 8. It doesn't really bring it down. Then we have The Demons. Great story indeed. Another beautiful cover. This was one of the last ones. This was one of the last ones to be released because of the colour issues with it. But it's a really good story, I think. Just get the chair out of my way. No, it's a really good story. Yeah, what more is there to say? All of these, of course, are linked by the Master, played by Roger Delgado, and his performance is stunning in every story he's in. He is the Master to me. Yeah, there will never be a better actor to play the Master than Delgado. Day of the Daleks. Yeah, I like it. It's okay. The special edition improves things for sure. Usually when it's like updated CGI effects, I'm like, yeah, I can take it or leave it. I'll always go for the original, but these help. The new Dalek voices by Nick Briggs are much better than the old ones. Yeah, it gives more weight to things, because at the end with the assault on the mansion, it's like that effect was never sort of, the sense of dread was never there when it was just the 3 Dalek props. Adding some more in via CGI and via actual specially shot sequences. It just adds so much more scope and scale to the thing, and yeah, Day of the Daleks is it's a good story, and the special edition definitely helps to bring out things which is rare, because usually special editions is just sort of there for just a cash grab, and it's like but no. The Curse of Peladon. The Curse of Peladon is a great story. This is one I return to often. It's action packed. It's got some political intrigue. It's got some weird and wonderful monsters. Alpha Centauri. It's amazing. I love Alpha Centauri. It's got a good story, character story with Joe and the King Peladon, and it's got a really lovely ending. And Pertwee's great in it. Yeah, it's sort of everything that makes a good Doctor Who story, really. Good classic Doctor Who story. So yeah, very very good one indeed. Sea Devils, classic of course. Sword fight is one of the most iconic Pertwee scenes, I think. You're good, Doctor, but you're not good enough. But you haven't seen the quality of my footwork yet. That's great. I love the Sea Devils. They need to come back, because the only time they return was in Warriors of the Deep, and of course they weren't very good in that. So yeah, Sea Devils need to come back, and they need to be done correctly, I think. Then we have the Mutants. Interesting one, this. I sort of went into it dreading it, because how long is it? It's a 6-parter. No, this story doesn't get the best reputation. It's usually considered one of the worst. I really enjoyed it, actually. I think it's got some good ideas in there. The story of Solos is really good. The opening's very ambitiously directed, and there's some good political intrigue with the higher ups in this story. There's nice sort of parallels between them and obviously the lower class people. And Mutants is, I actually really enjoyed it. Too long, yeah, it is. It probably could have been cut down to 4 parts, but yeah, it's sandwiched between the universally loved Sea Devils and the universally panned Time Monster, so it's like it sort of gets forgotten about. But I'm rightly so, because I think Mutants deserves a second look. It's not as dull as you might remember. Oh, the Time Monster. So bad it's good. I think this is the definition of it's so bad it's good. Tom Tit. I can't. I'm such a child. Every time it's said, I just giggle. We've got the time-space... Is it called the time-space visualizer? The thing the Doctor has that looks like a dick. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm sorry about your coccyx too, Miss Grant. I don't think you'll ever find a Doctor Who story that's this good while also being as bad as it is. It's... you just have to witness it. You just have to witness it for yourself. Tom Tit. And this also features a sequence where the Doctor builds a scanner out of balancing household objects on top of each other. It really needs to be seen to be believed. And then it ends with a naked Sergeant Benton. So you're getting quality there. Oh god, it's amazing. Carnival of Monsters. This is the special edition. Yeah, I enjoy Carnival of Monsters. Actually, I return to it frequently. This is one of the Pertwee ones that I do return to. This is, of course, got the Drashig in it. Yes. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. There he is. There's Drashig. It's, of course, got Drashigs in it. It's got some weird and wonderful, colourful sets, and yeah, it's a fun little ride. Then we have the Three Doctors. Again, special edition. Yeah, again, another one I return to. Season 10 is I often return to the stories in season 10 because there's some good stuff in it. Three Doctors is great. It's yeah, I think everyone at least likes Three Doctors, don't they? It's silly and fun, and it's cool. The one thing I will say against it though, it sort of began the trend of diminishing the Time Lord's power. You see them in the war games, and they are terrifying. They are so scary because they can do anything they want just for the fun of it. Then sort of from this story onward, every time they appear, they're either powerless or in a crisis or just fools, and it just, yeah, I don't know. But that's not really the story's fault, but it's an issue for sure. Then we have the Dalek War box set. Really, this is one story. It's Frontier in Space and Planet of the Daleks. Really, these two are one story. Because, you know, they lead on from each other. It's essentially a big 12-parter, because Frontier in Space leads on to Planet of the Daleks. Both stories, they're okay. They're not some of my favourites. Planet of the Daleks is probably my least favourite Pertwee Dalek story, but even then it's pretty good. We've got the Supreme Dalek, which is one of my favourite designs because it's a reused prop from the movie, which is nice. And the Draconians are cool, and it's the final performance of Roger Delgado as the Master, so yeah, it's got that going for it. It's not a story I particularly enjoy. Dalek War, the arc, is something I never really, it never draws me back in, but I can see why it has its fans. Okay, second shelf down now, we have the Green Death Special Edition. Lovely release. It's obviously the last story featuring Jo Grant. And her goodbye is really sad and happy at the same time. The look Pertwee gives at the end, I always think in my mind he's thinking, next season will be my last season. I've lost Jo. Poor Roger Delgado died in a car accident. I think next year will be my last, and I think that's what you can hear him thinking. No music, obviously. The last scene's amazing. You got a big computer called Boss, which is amazing, and of course this is the one that is always called the one with the maggots, and it's a great story. I watched this on Twitch recently because I wanted to see people's reactions to it, and yeah, people loved it. Now we have an underrated season. I really liked this season. This is season 11, beginning with the Time Warrior. A lot of first mention of Gallifrey, first appearance of the Sontarans, first appearance of Sarah Jane. Yeah, I really like the Time Warrior a lot. It's a great story. It's I don't return to it often, but it's Pertwee's era I don't return to often, but when I do, I really like it. So I guess it's one of those ones that I just need to keep going back to. And yeah, just solid story for the Sontarans and sort of establish the character that they should be. So. Invasion of the Dinosaurs. I watched this very, very recently for the first time, and I loved it. It's really good. You know, it's amazing. It's really good. All right, people moan on the effects. When has Classic Doctor Who ever had good special effects? It doesn't matter. The story is excellent. It's full of political intrigue. It raises a good point about the state of the world and where it's going with pollution and everything. The dinosaurs are literally there as a backdrop for some exciting action sequences. The real story is about the humans that are behind it. You know, it's one of the rare 6 parts when nothing drags for me. Part 1's fantastic. The colour restoration is not great, but you know, they did the best of what they could. The atmosphere in part 1 with nothing around, it's really quite haunting actually. It's really good stuff, and Pertwee's great in it. It looks really nice as well. Do the film prints exist for this? Because it looks amazing. Really nice looking story, and I love Invasion of the Dinosaurs. I think it's a masterpiece. Quite frankly, I think it's one of the best Doctor Who stories of the Pertwee era, and underrated. People just look at the effects and go, that's crap. But yeah, people need to give this story a second chance because it's really good. Death of the Daleks, just finished watching this 2 nights ago maybe. It was alright. Daleks are fairly laughable and weak in it. The story didn't really grab me at all. I was invested in part 1 and just sort of lost its way, and yeah, not one of the best Dalek stories for sure, but not awful, just not great, I think. Monster of Peladon, probably the only story in season 11 that I really don't like. Like Death of the Daleks I can just enjoy and just turn my brain off and not really just care. This one I don't think I can. People like Monster of Peladon. I don't really. I think it sort of pales in comparison to Curse, which is a shame because, you know, this has its fans. Yeah, can't really say much about it. It's not great. Can I just say, season 11 has my favourite incarnation of the Third Doctor. I think he's at its best in his last season, funnily enough. I really like his relationship with Sarah Jane. I think they work really well together. I would have liked to have seen them more together. I think they're really cool. And yeah, I love Pertwee in season 11. It feels like because this is his last go, he's really given it his all, and yeah, really cool. Then we have Planet of the Spiders. Again, watched this very recently. I rewatched it very recently. I've watched it many times before. It's really good again. Part 4 maybe loses its way a little bit, but you know, I mean, that's really it. I think that's really it. The only bit that sort of drags for me. I think it's a really good story. I think the regeneration is incredibly well done. The spiders look good for their time, and they're pretty creepy, even though they've got voices like this. No, they're cool. I like it. And Planet of the Spiders is a good send-off to the Pertwee era. Is it as good a send-off as we would have had if we had, you know, the final game? No, but it's for what they had. I think it's a pretty good send-off to a really good era. So yeah, join me next time. We'll be looking at the mammoth Tom Baker era, season 12 box sets down there. So yeah, if you did enjoy this, what are your thoughts on the Pertwee era? What's your favourite Pertwee story? Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care now.